Hello and welcome. Right, I've got this going. Let's really just crack on. That was weird. I didn't know what I was gonna say then. That was a strange one. It's weird, isn't it? This new little graphics at the top. Right, it says a big field. Right, what have we got to do? We've got an awful lot of stuff to do. An awful lot of stuff. So right, yeah. So you're ready. Yeah, it's really straight. Oh, hang on a minute. It is that. I was gonna say. Right, sorted. Oh yeah, this is it. This right. I think no. So we still need to do it here. So right, I'm gonna go straight into a timer. So I was thinking actually, just I don't think I've ever had a let's play where I've like worked so like hard. I'm just start thinking, when will this month end? It's just like that. I'm like, whoa! It's just so right. We want to like increase it, make this bigger. Although it is canola, do we need? Is it? I can't remember if the class can pick up another one. Some of them you can only like. Oh, seriously, what is this? What is this? It's not that one. It is definitely this one. Oh, an absolute pain in the backside. Oh. Ah, no, it wasn't really. Yeah, it's like slamming into the edge of the map if you go at the wrong angle. So, apologies, worker. You actually did have a real, legitimate problem. Okay, right. Okay, let's crack on. Yeah, gonna see you guys and gals on the other side. come to a decision. I am going to sell the harvester and the header. It's a bit. It is true. It could. I mean, I was sort of thinking, well, yeah, but does it really matter if you do like Lisa header? You're making 60,000 right now. You may get a harvester. We all know it's a bit of a gamble. It's true. I'm not getting rid of the header trailer though, because this is really quite amazing. But I am sort of going out on a limb because there are an awful lot of harvesters. That's one thing I am going to say. But doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get one. So yeah, I put that away because I was still deliberating. I thought, yeah. So I think we will. We know we're not going to get like. It's not brand spanking new, but it's still going to be worth 140, 150,000 according to what we saw last session. And then of course you do get that extra bonus with selling it at the shop. So yeah, I've still got to put the repair point down. It is true though, I've never worked so hard as we have this time. We've still really got the grass to do. It's sort of one of those things though. Something's got to give. You either carry on and 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 on, or you sort of like try and I've said this before, I call it conversion. You've got to convert the effort you've done into profit. We've got animals. Some things require just time, as in like they need you to go forwards in time or nothing will ever happen. But also you've got to like cross that with I've got to do that. I'd like to finish that field if nothing else. The canola field, it's again because obviously the one thing we have got to do. Talking of that, now I'm going to be realistic. Even though I know really I could like stop this on the side of the road and like we could do that. Let's just finish this task straight away. I think we've done everything that I wanted to do. That all bits and bobs. We've swapped the big trailer for like my trailer and things like that. We sort of maximised the profit and like got sort of almost replaced everything, including the plough, for like what I class as. I mean, don't get me wrong, we haven't replaced everything, but some of the things we don't need. You know, the self-sufficiency. I was just thinking, I thought you can do the canola for diesel for yourself, and I thought, oh yeah, I can. It's a pretty poor harvest though. So I thought it was quite bad really. 5,214 for canola. It was a fairly big field, and if I remember rightly, it wasn't a terrible field. I mean, as in there was a lot of loam. But whether we lost, precision farming, it is. I don't think we'd scan the fields or shouldn't really have turned it on until after this. It's a bit like when you put, the ploughing one. If you switch that on first before. In fact, have I done that? Have I actually done that? Because again, this is what I always say. Because if you don't notice and you've got like requires the periodic ploughing on. No, we didn't. So if we switched it on now, it's not a bad thing because we've done all of our work. But we may find that half of our fields need ploughing. But it is one of those things really. It's a catch-22 situation. So. Yes, this is a bit of a gamble, and it might not pay off. Fantastic. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, you cannot follow a vehicle. Oh, well, they didn't do too badly. It could have been a lot worse. Yeah, can it see the header on the header trailer? I've got this bit of a like thought in my mind that I think I've tried. No, you can. Yeah, no. I should see now. Actually, I'm saying that, and I'm not really sure myself. Oh, you can. Points for that. Yeah. Oh, I'd say it's nearly 200,000. We could be really clever and just buy a brand spanking new one right now, but we will leave this up here. Do we need this tractor as well? We may well do. I would like to set this going with the... that is true. I just had a thought. I did. My front box. If we're going to send this like doing... Oh, the other thing is we could really do with is I think we'll ask the shop, because we haven't got any means of getting it back. We'll ask the shop if they will... Alright, 1 second. yeah, we'll have that for the front, obviously. That's what it's designed for. But what I mean is, yeah, I'm going to literally do like I think the fertilizer, or yeah, the liming will devour us. I mean, as in like time-wise. The fertilizer, not so much. It will in a way. Yeah, the workers are not terribly good at it. They're a bit of terrorists for wasting, but if you've not got anything to waste, they can't waste it. So what I mean is, like, yeah, hopefully they'll get the fields done at some point. Well, it could courseplay it, but then we're going to be like, yeah, it's one beautiful thing about using the in-game workers is the fact you just literally click on them and they go. But obviously you've got to realise that they are a bit wasteful, they're not perfect, and that's got to be part of your strategy if you're going to use them. So yeah, it's true, it's one of those things, really. Oh my life. Is the whole town coming from, like, Tawdry Forest? It's an interesting name, that is. Yeah, it's amazing, because obviously I actually had that field, but I'm sure it wasn't. It might have been as big as it was, but I mean, I know, like, most of the map makers anyway, in the conversion process, want to make it a little different, but I can't remember. And it's a beautiful map anyway, and we're also in a different place than we were when I was on here last time. It was more to the right here, and we had a lot of fields just to the right of us, and we really did go big. Again, start from scratch. We started in the middle of the village with a couple of fields there, and then, like, you know, from that point we went, no, we will go in here. Now, this is also going to be fun, because picking that, I think we probably are better to reset the thing. It's a little bit prone to falling over. It is, and what I should know better than to, like, move whilst I'm dropping it. Yeah, it really was my own fault. I've got to get better at that. Still need to put a repair point down, which I think is probably not a bad idea, somewhere around here. Or, yeah, right, so maybe there. And a wash point, because this place is the middle of the yard where you really have got to come. We also want to put the sign up, my sign. I do insist on doing that. Right, so then we want tools. Yeah, we will. I really like this. It's becoming... I really do love the other one as well, which I've had ever since the beginning of FS25, but this takes up very little room. It's a little bit like the Omatana taps. It really is quite amazing. So I believe the car show as well. Stick that right next door. Fantastic. Excellent. Alright, so then this is going to be... Yeah, I'm going to have to reset this. There'll be no other way for me to pick that up. We haven't got a telehandler or a front loader where we could actually do that right now. So I do apologise for literally doing this, but no, not that way. It's over here. Right. Oh. Well, that's unusual. And hopefully we can get that, because that's not terribly grand. Alright, so it's a bit not quite done on that field. I think they said they were finished, but we can't. Yeah, we really ought to. Yeah. So I've got it's amazing. A million thoughts going through my head as I'm like thinking, I've got to do this, I've got to do the other, I've got to do that. It's true, I have, and also that we have that in the way. Yeah, instead of going around it like I have done, what he ought to do is actually shift it. It's nice as well, obviously, having these things. Like, I mean, I have got my own, I've made it, but when you've got them... Right, so also let's reset that as well. Don't want to make a habit of it. That was really because the tool is a little bit prone to doing that, what it does. Did I stick the new Guy Industries on that? Did I remember to do it? I did. Oh, no, I did that a long time ago. I remember now. Yeah, I do. I had a bit of a spate of going around them all and sticking the new one on top of the old one. But there's still a few missing. The greenhouses, I noticed the other day, they were missing on the greenhouses. That's not quite right. Oh, you've gone the wrong way. That's about typical, isn't it? We have, obviously, the one thing we have got is we've got a lot of bales, a very, very kind of FSG to I mean, we've got a lot of straw, and so we could make TMR or drop them into our self-sufficiency and actually make so ourselves with what we've already been given, really, which is quite nice. So we really don't have to worry about it. It's nice. It is a nice touch of map makers. It's a little bit like the slurry. We need to make some digestate. Well, strangely enough, because we have all of that slurry, we can grab that in that tanker that we just swapped, and we can convert it to slurry, which means then we can make our diesel. It relies quite heavily on things like that. So again, although I'm like talking about, oh, we need to get out of this month, there's still some things that really the farm, I always said this, dictates to you what what you need to do, really. I didn't do that grass, did I? No, I didn't. So we want, yeah, we're gonna need a buy point down the middle, which signifies, that's another reason why I've done this. I've done this exactly as if I was, like for myself, because obviously over the years, in your head, you've got a list of things that you would always want to see, and one of the things I've always wanted to see is the realism of like little silos for storage. Well, I've done it. I've got little silos, and that's the buy point, which really represents to me. Now, I used to in FS19. My favourite mod was what's it called? I'll tell you what it looks like. It looked like a container. I think it was the container mod. That's right, it was. It was called that. It had the best percentage of reductions. It was the very best. Even Mr. TLP, he had his favourites, and it wasn't that one. But it was always my favourite. But it was also the realism of the fact that it's. This is true. It was the realism of the fact that when you opened the doors, it got like shelves of bits and bobs all on the shelves, which was signifying the fact that you got your fertiliser and that in the back of the shed. Now, obviously, wow. Okay, set you going. We can't do everything. So, right. Quantum, but let's go and finish that last field as well. Obviously, the one thing is we've got to start to sow in the morning. It is barley. I know what I'm going to do. I just had a thought. Obviously, we've not got a seeder. If you want to seed something quickly, there is BI Industries to the rescue now. Then this is going to be difficult. And yeah, this is it's quite amazing. Now you don't. Yeah, no, I did a few bits of like stone, and I thought, why are you doing stone on this? Yeah, right, we're going to set you going in a minute, but we really, you don't want to go over. You will see that I've gone around certain things, and I'm trying obviously my best not to wallop things as you turn around the corner. It is very easy to do so, but it is, I've got to be honest, I was saying this the other day, this and my stone picker, I really enjoy using. It's good fun just to actually use it, and I really do love it. I love the spinning around and the fact that it skids and all that type of stuff. It really is quite amazing. And also, I mean, it's not totally wrong, but there's always a few conventions within Farming Simulator where sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Well, this is one where you win a little. It is, where they look a bit peculiar because it's picking up off the ground, but if such a thing did exist, then obviously it's a bit of a convention. It's not quite right. So let's shift that tractor, and I don't know if there's something wrong with the stone. It is appearing, but it's not like, oh no, we can't go that way. Let's just put this on the end of the field. There is a little bit that he's not quite done, so let's get that sorted. Yeah, so the canola I did think was a little bit on the poor side, but again, it might be that was legit. I'm trying to think. It did seem quite a big field though, really, for such a little amount. So if that's precision farming, it's like make us take such a hit. That's really quite bad. I must admit, there's some quite generous headlands in place where you could actually take a little bit back for your fields. Yeah, why did the worker not build this line? What were they thinking? Oh well, I suppose it's not as bad as it could be. They did fit. But yeah, I mean, again, that's not too terrible. You consider. I mean, a few years ago, that would have in so many ways, so many times, gone unblocked, and you go past every tree, it would have shrieked that the enemy of the world was on them, you know, because that's just the way that it used to be. But I mean, yeah, I think this is all low, isn't it? Yeah, this is, and that one there's not quite as good, but obviously it's much bigger, so it really does make up for that fact. But yeah, I think we've done quite well. But there's not many stones, but there are some. So it's, yeah, I'm not saying it's not broken completely, but it does seem a little bit like that it's not quite right. So let's say you going, and we would jump into that and whiz that off. And do we do the canola? I thought that was Lewis completed their task. Oh, fertilising, of course. Do you know, goldfish? No, you've sort of, that's like out of mind, isn't it? You're like busy doing something else, you're concentrating on something yourself, so it's not really that you're like forgetting. Yeah, this is where you really have to sort of think about, you have to clear that, spin around, and obviously you lose a bit because you're putting straw in the cows. I do realise that. First time I thought, why am I losing straw? And then I thought, oh, yeah, cows. We could whiz down and get the canola because we're right near the other silo as well. Yeah, so we will grab some slurry as well because we need to. Yeah, we need to grab some slurry to convert it for the digestate side of it. I did try and think of this because obviously not everybody does the grass. Oh, that's a point actually. We have got grass. We could do grass. So we need to put water in it if we're going to go that way. This is true, but we have got some... So we could sort of cheat and do the digestate from slurry, is what I'm thinking, because we have got an awful lot of that. Obviously, we're only going for the fertiliser in the way that we have because of speed and expediency at the minute, because we've had so much to do, you know, like literally now. This will be interesting. I might need to take a run up. It may get grounded at the top. It is only 50 horsepower. It's not you. So I need to take a run up to hopefully get over the brow of the hill. Smashing. Sometimes things just work in your favour and other times they don't. Right, so then fertiliser, let's go and send him on to... Yeah, so we're really going to need another buy point somewhere down here. Now then, this is where it could sort of come a cropper. I think, didn't we come a cropper here before? Oh, we did, but not this time. Right, anyway, yeah, let's set that going on the next field. And see how much you've got left. Ooh, not bad actually. Quite impressed. And you can see the green behind us that it really is doing not too terrible. Yes, I think we'll put again. Ooh, thank goodness that post was not real. Would have come a cropper. Yeah, so if you look, I did sort of try and think about this. It is central-ish to this little lot, and then obviously this side and this side here. Again, you've got this bit, which is fairly close to this. Maybe that in the middle of the farmyard will be perfect, but you can't have it perfect. But here, really, is probably, if we can stick it up there with the other one, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Yeah, it's one thing I've always sort of tried to do, the more you get into it, is design of the farmyard and the way that you do things to try and improve on efficiency to make it as good as it possibly can be. Now then, I realise here we've left that trailer down here. I thought, oh, love this skiddy widdy bit. Yeah, this is quite a tight thing, this is, for going around. Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be... Look at that. What vehicle can spin like that? And that's what I'm saying. I want to make my telehandler based upon the wheel configuration of this. As unusual as that is, I recognise I've driven around in some things. Tracks perhaps, but I don't know. This turns even more quickly than tracks. It really does. It's quite amazing. So I think I'm going to go for this kind of thing on my telehandler, which is going to be rather unique. Yeah, it's a long way off. I was trying to fix my double forks earlier, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why my straps are not working. It's a bit of a strange model. Obviously, when you put them on, it is quite unique. It was a... I don't think anyone's done it until FS25. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do the straps on. So I think it is quite... There might be a setting, a little setting that I've not realised that it's important. So I need to like go over and like see what Naz has done on his, or maybe look at also look at the telehandler set as well. Ah, that's true. We can put it down there, couldn't we? I was forgetting that's even closer. I do love the fact this has got such a big boom. It's a bit of an art though, but you do get better at it. You know, this like you because you can easily overshoot that little square. It's sort of like playing darts. But again, I like it. This is quite a new sort of thing for me. I've made the unload rate quite tremendous because, again, for the realism element of, I thought if you've got to use this, you as a designer, you'd have to tweak this so it would meet the requirements of the people and the jobs that it's going to face. And I think I've actually done that all right. It seems to me to be quite good. But yeah, and obviously there's that bit of patch here. Right, so that'll be the fertiliser one again. Let's just stick that little bit in there. And really, I think we've done quite well. I do. Yeah, it's a bit tight though, and you're nearly going to hit the yeah. Right, let's not forget, we need to send that on and on and on. So that's 2 out of 4. I do realise we haven't done that other field that's... yeah, I mean, I know also we haven't done any of the fields, so really we're going to get grounded tomorrow because we're going to need to do a couple of... my cedar is obviously a 27-metre spread, so have we got room up there to stick the buy point? Or do we stick it? I suppose we could stick it in the hedge. Yeah, but you'd need two. You'd need to, like, face it different ways. I don't think there's enough room up there, really. No, I think you would have to put 2 down, it's true. Is there a way? Let's have a look. Let's do a bird's eye view. Let's send the drones up. It's true, I don't really want to do any more. And also, you'd have to go up to it. So, I suppose you... No. I suppose we could, thinking about it, extend that. I do think it's true. If you've done that already, then why don't you, like, make that... Ooh, where's my mouse, like, jittering? If we... literally just go a little bit. I don't have to go too mad. It's not massive. I have rescued my old model, but I haven't got it in the game yet. Yeah, or have I? Oh, that is a point. Did I stick this in the mods folder? I might have done. My old one. I really do like the old one that I actually did. No, it's containers. I have. No. Oh, I have. I'm going to say, yeah. This is the model I really liked. I loved it. And it's not... Oh, yeah, no, it's... Yeah, it's always a bit like that. So really, we've got to come up to this. Now, that's the downside. Why am I getting... It's literally is classing that as... So I think that is about as good as it's going to get. Because we literally are on our land at that point because we're high. Oh, wow. Right, so then, let's go grab that. And yes, we've got to go up the ramp to actually do it, but it's not the end of the world. I think it's just the back, I think. Yeah, we're going in the hedge a little, I realise. Again, I do apologise in a way. There are some conventions that are rather annoying of the game, but like, now the other thing is I do realise I ruined this when I was like, yeah, I really did ruin this. So I think let's just try and fix what I did. So slope 2 point. Set slope target point, right mouse. And then from here, literally go up. But try not to make that on the left hand side any more than it is already. Right, that's not... And if you soften it as well, it really does rip it. I want to soften the edges of here because I realise it looks a little angular, but it's because you've been real life, you just rip the edge out. Obviously, it's a gaming convention, and I do realise that. So it's not true. Wow, that is a bit tight. Yeah, we literally precariously. What are we doing? Oh my life. It's not too terrible, I suppose. But right, so then we have done this little. Let's set that going. And this is the beauty of something like a fertiliser spreader, isn't it? It's got such a good spread, is the fact that you can actually do that sort of thing with it. So, right, so I believe we are escaping. We can be clever though this time. We could actually stick that down for a bit. because it's an awful lot easier to like travel like that. I was deliberating on making another one of these with like only a half thing, but I've gone off the idea. The more as I've used this, I thought, you know, part of the magic of this is the length of its. Now we can reverse. I've also made the reversing speed on this quite fast too. Now we used in the game so everything being like 5 miles an hour, but this can reverse quite fast. I can't remember if did it the same as forward, I'm not sure, but it's fairly good. We do need to retrieve the diesel barrels as well, although it's not the end of the world if we don't do it this session, but we will need it up at the top, so it probably isn't a bad idea to go grab that with the other John Deere. Yeah, so we've got this field to do still, haven't we? Yeah, as I said, I realise, and I know the liming needs doing, but the fertilising's got the biggest effect. The lime, I don't know, the liming's still bad, isn't it? So we're looking very rich at present, but that's because we have lost our harvester, so we're not really... Oh, we did it. Yeah, I just moved down here because it was a right massive dimmock in the ground. The other thing is storing this butte. Yeah, it is... I do really like it. I say I really enjoy using it, and it is sort of like having a trailer, a windrower. Well, it's a ground pick. Obviously, it is a belt, but really it's a ground pick. Can we just manage to get in there? I think we can. Just. It's almost made for it. We don't want to go any further. Oh, I think we're hitting something. Oh. Oh, my telly's doing that thing. I've got to switch that off. It's so annoying. You can't see what's happening now, but my TV's like trying to switch on, and it sometimes literally loses the channel, and I never said any word that was sounding anything like "her who shall not be named" that would cause that to come on. So, right, now we're going to go to you. Now, we do want to grab the slurry, so we need to be grabbing that too. As I say, it is true that the farm is dictating. We've got, obviously, we've got to convert the products we have, and if you just leave them and you don't carry on, it just doesn't get done, does it? I do love the storage on this as well. It's quite amazing. Now, where is the slurry point on this beautiful bit? It's by the grades, which does sort of make sense. So any second now, I would say. Wow, that is amazing. Right, so self-sufficiency, we've got to travel from here to there. Yeah, and it would be, I hope this sugar is travelling to there, because it doesn't seem to be like, I can't see it anywhere, but... Of course, no, it's the new sugar. Is it? Oh, no, I know what's... It will be travelling. I haven't added the new sugar to the productions. No, because it can't go in there then. So really, in a way, it's quite an advantage to the sugar not being allowed to go into the production, because it doesn't know what it is. So that means it can't possibly take it. Yeah, I don't know how I missed those two earlier. When I thought I'd been quite thorough, but obviously not. Oh no, I was going to say I should have put it in. So that should be doing. So let's have a look at the Barnet Sugar Mill. Sugar beet 71,000. It's got 2,003. I know it has. Right. So this does 7,000 litre pallets. That's the entire reason I made my own sugar, was the fact that I haven't seen a pallet yet. I'm not this has like only just been done by myself, so I'm trying to do this to everything that's going to slow me down. Brilliant. So that'll be another field completed. Let's grab that quickly. We're on a roll. Let's crack on. So wow, I missed that corner right. Oh yeah, so do you know something? I'm actually just gonna whiz around. That made absolutely no difference. Well, it's nice to see precision farming actually sort of doing something, because I suppose we can spin around here, so because it is a ramp up and a ramp down, so it's a little bit of a precarious turnaround though, if you'll But then again, if we don't do it like this, it is a little tight down there. Obviously, again, in real life, I would take a little bit of the hedge out so that we could get away with this a little bit better. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm so happy to get that buy point out. I just so much prefer that model to the newer one, even though I like it, but I just got used to that one and I really like it. Right, this one, I think. Okay, so then, yeah, we've got that to do as well. Oh, wow, look, that's not bad for a 6 metre plough. It really isn't. That's quite tremendous. Right, I think we need to do a few, got 5,000, that's a point. Yeah, we don't need to go mad thinking about it. For the self-sufficiency, it's only got 5,000 for the biodiesel, so it needs 5,000 to match that. It matches, and it is quite a good thing. It sort of doubles the output of whatever you've got with the addition of the digester, which is a bit cheeky, but you've got to be cheeky sometimes. Right, so that should cover what we've got to doing that. So there's no real need to go any more like intensive than that. Now, the other thing I'd like to do is we'll grab that tanker, the milk tanker. Because I don't somehow think we're going to be needing it up here for a while, because they're little uns. So I think we'll probably need this down at the bottom. We also, though, we're going to need a trailer. I think we'll take the carrot. It is actually. I think we might order one of mine. Yeah, I do. You really need one of those that like left tips and right tips, which the one that mine is perfect for that, so we'll ask the store to deliver one down there and we'll get the animals in, because I keep sort of saying about the animals, we have to take them to market. I'm going to order this 20 in at once rather than, yeah, the other thing is expediency. It's like, how many journeys would I have? I would literally have to do an entire session, and I know that's true because I've done it on Riverbend Springs, and I thought at the time, I'm not really sure this level of realism is really a good thing. And I think I might be right. I think sometimes certain things are a little bit not expedient, really. So, wow, I love that effect of the damage on the floor. It's just so reminiscent of English roads, patchwork quilts, and the damage on the edge of the road, and the little bit of tarmacking that's done. And they say, oh, hang on, can we get this way? Yeah, we can, I think. Ooh. That is a point. That is our field that we just... That is the real entrance. Now, I think we can get... Yeah, I can't remember. I think we had to go through the other way. I don't think there is a way here, is there? This is what we're saying, the way in, strangely enough, is back there. So we do really need our other fields to actually do this. The other thing I'm wanting to see is the manure point still working after like going out of the game, coming in? Because so far that's when it usually breaks. Now, is there a way down the side of the house? I think there is. I sort of saw it from the field and I thought, ooh. So there is another way. Yes, this is the back of our field where I do like that. But yeah, it's true. The graphics are damaged a little bit in one section at the back. I know you wouldn't normally worry about that, but like it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to investigate because I'm sure that entire picture was really quite high res. So to take a bit of damage like that, here we go. So really, it's not too terrible. We will leave one of the little John Deeres down here as the tractor, and we will put one of our little silos, and we will order people to fill that up. Now then, are you still connected to that? No. Giants have definitely broken manure again. So, with that in mind, we're sort of going to have to go the extra mile, aren't we, do you know, this game, it gets worse. Seriously. How many times are they going to break me? This is another thing, really, where Pig-headedness. For years, we didn't have the manure heaps. Ever since we had manure heaps, we've had trouble. All the way through FS22, we had like this problem. Look at the damage it does as well. What a mess. You know, seriously. It really is. It's a monumental, just the kind of monumental stubbornness that you had over the... One second. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, so let's drop this. Let's ask the store to deliver my trailer. God, I'm bad. It is. It's the same as the fact that the cereal factory was one of the worst businesses ever, and they still did not do anything about it. Even though it's fairly obvious, if you start to do the maths, that it really is absolutely terrible and makes no sense whatsoever. As I actually, and I'm sure many other people far more intelligent than myself, have actually also come to the same conclusion when they do the maths. Does that not make you look silly? And wouldn't you at some point think, well, shouldn't we really? Not giants. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Oh, I just don't get it. I do not get that kind of monumental pig-headedness, really, is what in England we would call that kind of silliness. We all have it, stubborn pride a little bit, but it really is like at that point goes really crazy. And then we ought to ask giants to repay us for the doing the grass. So how much is this going to cost? We're going to do the other bit. Just yeah, we're going to work this out. Even though I know we're doing well, but we're going to like to. But you know, I can't be bothered. No, that didn't cost us that much, did it really? So then, animals. God, I think it's the other end. And look, this. Now we want left tip. Left tip's the best. Yeah, it's the fastest. It's got different speeds. I apologise to those who've been watching the channel for a while, because you will have heard this story a little bit too frequently. Do we go in? No, it has to be outside the back. We can actually do this before we put the animals in, which is not a bad sort of thing. And I do love the fact that you can do this. So let's just stick at my old new silo. I do love the fact that we've got that back. We also ought to put that down as well before like we get to. So it's container, and it's the second one in, which is identical to the other one. I've not even ever bothered with the like the graphics sort of thing on that one. Now why is B mode? That's why it's like doing that. Now we ought to really look down on it so that you can see. It's weird how angles matter when you place things. Just a little bit more, just in a little bit. That's beginning to like, stretch a little. Yeah, so let's go down a bit. Yeah, he sort of starts to fly when it goes wrong. I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Because it starts to lift out of the ground. Yeah. TMR. Okay, I thought we could actually fill. I think it's a bit far back. I can normally do better than that, actually. I love doing this where you tip in and actually fill in at the same time. I know it looks, but it is quite interesting. And we know that. That's because you've broken it, giants. It's true. Now, I'm not actually sure though whether this actually costs you more than it should do because it's like tickling it. Yeah, whereas if you fill in it up, I think it does. Sort of, but I think it seems to spin a little quickly on the wheel when you've filled it up. Let's have a look. which should be filling. Oh, yes, that should do. Fantastic. Oh, straw. We could put a little production silo down here as well, I think. Yeah, we could. Behind that one? See, we could do, I suppose. It doesn't hurt. We're not taking up any room that we really shouldn't do. This is going to be the feed silo. That's deliberately for animals. So it should be silos, which I'd gone through twice now. I would have used to use that one, but this... Oh, actually, that should be right at the beginning. Why? It's really cheap. What has happened to my little ones? Have I taken them out? Sure, they're on silos. They are very, very reasonable. So why are we like this high up? Is the game like taking them out? Wow. I wonder if the buy point is like doing something to that. It is a silo. Yeah, they really. It's cheaper than even than these. So I don't know what's happening with those. It's a bit odd. Right. Well, that's a bit of a shocker. Let's buy our animals. They're at least fed. That's the one thing that we can do. So we won. Now, we've got Holsteins and we've got Brown Swiss. So I think I'm going to go with my normal because they really do beautiful. We're going to have them imported from abroad. We're going to go adults and they are very, very reasonable. We're going to have 20 of them. Yeah, we are. I'm not going to go mad. I'm going to try and stick in line with what we've already got because we have got... Do we do 20? Let's do 30. No, let's do 40. That's reasonable, but it will give us a fairly good amount of butter and a fairly good amount of... And the bad thing is, of course, I have a special dairy that would work with this better than the one that we've been given. But it does look really... Can we sell that one? I know this is not me. If I wasn't me and I was like you know, a normal person, I'd be really grateful for that. It's just that that sounds really... I don't mean that as it sounds as well. What I mean by that is... I could have sold it from there, actually. So really, I think that's the only way you can actually sell it, isn't it? That way. Yeah. That is really, really bad. It is. Oh, that's right. I know FSG said something about that you can buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell. So if we bought it, I think it would reappear, which is quite amazing. So maybe not, but again, it's possible. He did say something like that. So right, that's just. So I think we can put ours down because it makes a bit of sense, and really, it would make sense that you would put it down. Probably where the manure heap was, or over this corner, I would say. Now, that what I did once, I thought was quite clever. Now, which is the milk end, the other end? Let's be really good. And we don't have to lock anything over here. What I did was I stuck it actually in the enclosure. It's a very big field, so it's not going to hurt the cows. But typically that cow there is literally, or that buffalo is right in the way. And this is what I'm saying. In FS22 and FS19, I could have stopped that animal going in there like that and looking ridiculous and reminding us all it's a game. But it doesn't have to look like a game. It can look with a bit more realism than it actually does. And it's just such a loss, I think, that... again, I mean, the nav meshes I've watched... Farmer Bob show us the old way to do the nav meshes. It wasn't that hard. Why? And they're still in the game. The nav meshes still sit there and they just don't do anything anymore. Why? Why have we still got them then? If like we're... Oh, here we go. Is it? Oh, of course, they're productions. I keep forgetting. I keep getting confused because they are a silo. They look like a silo, but they're not a silo. When will I get it into my... Yeah, so that one is a tiny production site which really does have everything. This one has the things that your farmyard would really like. So yeah, we really could stick that right next door to that. Now, I'm hoping that I fixed the issue with this. So we're sort of going to have to like put it in B mode, and then I'm going to have to like repair the grate. It had an open-ended. Let me just concentrate 1 second. Just get rid of the thing around it. Right. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. No, that's wrong. Yeah, it's got its little chevrons. Although it's tiny, it still needs to be having a bit more room than that, because it is really a tiny silo, as it says. You know, it's. So let's try that again, shall we? But leave a little bit more. You can even see the chevrons. I've got no excuse at all for not seeing that. It's tiny. I don't think you could even fit a single pallet, but like it still needs to have that like that. We know it overlaps, but that should be okay. It should just about get in. Fantastic. Let's do a little tiny bit of painting. I do love the way that the concrete pebbles and any of the ones that are stone actually make the noise of you travelling over stone as you go over it. It really is a nice touch that I really do think is quite nice. Let's just do it around the back as well. It looks so awful, but it does settle down, and it does actually eventually look like it should do. But yeah, all that crisscrossing disappears before your eyes, so we can dump that. Now, if this goes wrong, I think I fixed it, but it has to have a beginning and an end, but this Wally put them the wrong way round, which meant that the end never had an end. Which meant that things were coming from other production silos into this of the same kind, and actually, like, I think it multiplied it as well. So, I mean, that obviously I didn't really mean to do that. That was definitely true. So let's put some straw in this now. Yeah, it's weird as well, the messages. They stay on that. But I would imagine it's quite difficult with some of these mods to actually do this right. So we want to be still saying Ducto CMR. Fantastic. So we should see the straw starting to appear on that the straw plane, and it's just beginning to come through. It is a bit weird. It's the one thing I could never quite get it right. I wanted this to look a little bit scabby, and I love the concrete on the floor. It's quite unique, but I'm not keen on the wood effect on the floor where it used to be the metal. That's the only thing. But I can't do anything because the diffuse. I like the concrete on the ceiling. I like the concrete walkways. They look sort of quite futuristic, like something out of a space thing. But I quite like that. But it feels that, and you can see it's sort of doing something weird. But I can't do much about it. It's almost how I want it to be. But like if I change it, and I have tried a few times, I can't find another diffuse similar that gives it this kind of look of a bit worn and old, you know, and a bit, a bit worn and old, really. So we really need one of the other John Deeres down here, and they can stay permanently down here as I've done on many Let's Plays. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I had the old grey Massey Fergusons in FS19, and often one of those £3,500, 3,500 it cost you for one of those. It often did the job really well. Even on Lone Oak, I had that doing that job every single day, and it did a very, very good job. And it's adequate. It is adequate for this kind of thing. If you set it up right, give it a not too large a trailer, it really will do the job nicely. Right, so then we know we're going to ignore you. I don't know how to do this, because obviously, unless you were to put one down every single time, and you're still going to lose it if you slept through, it's almost impossible to police. So the realism element of me says, well, can I? I was trying to look at the straw, so another couple, I think. We can sort of allow ourselves, you could say that in a couple of months you're going to get like 7 or 8 tons, and then a little bit more, you get a little bit more, like 20, and I suppose you could go by the slurry. In fact, why are we putting straw in? Because it's true, we are wasting our time. Although I've got to be honest, for the realism element, let's be honest, you would bed them down. So do you know something? I don't care. Yeah, about the manure. We know that that's the gaming convention, but in reality, you wouldn't have your animals without straw down, would you really? I don't think. So I'd say that's got to be fairly... Yeah, well, TMR, so let's drop that down. So our animals are fed and in, finally, which is fantastic. Let's take this up. Let's grab that other trailer that we've, like, left. That will stay down. And we will go grab that one that we've left in that field. This is our field, so we can drive across it if we want. We can. And we'll go and retrieve that trailer out there with the diesel in, take it up to the top. And I don't think that's been a bad session. Can we go out of August? Please let me... Yeah, the other thing is I really need to trample that. I don't want this... Oh my... Oh, it's one of those when it's sort of like here, but it's not here. Will it allow us to graphically, like, put a blob of grass on it or something? If we do that, what about normal grass? It's going to cost us a bit. It is. Let's have a look at the cost of this, because we're only doing this really because, yeah, we don't want, like... Wow, it doesn't cost you much, does it really? Again, I think I'll be lucky if this is about 20 odd. Yeah, this is FSG. Must have had a drink that night when he was doing this bit of the the mapping. Oh, because this is obviously it is quite. I've seen it with JM Gaming as well. Obviously, to be honest, they pull some really long hours. In doing this, and there's sometimes when they obviously must be absolutely shattered, but they crack on, and then eventually, like we all do, I've done the same myself, you like think, like, look, come on, but you don't realise what you've done. And obviously there will be like times when you've like done a little splurge of concrete in the middle of a grass field. It is quite hilarious, really. Oh right, so this is not our field that we abandoned that in. That was a bit naughty. This probably is also a good field. Again, we could sort of convert some of these, like, and buy it and like rip it from the grass that it is. Because if I remember rightly, if we look at this, I think 6 was the one that was going to be not quite nice. Yeah, this one should have a band of like that, but it'll have half green. But it would, obviously, we've now got this. I mean, that's a beautiful field. Again, has this been harvested yet? No, it hasn't. Green beans growing. I would imagine they've got to be soon. So I reckon we'll buy this field when it's been harvested, because this should be loam. Looking at that section there, that to me looks like that's going to be low. I might be wrong. Does it actually tell you? If you actually look at it, precision, no data found, no. But if you hover over it and, like, say you're going to buy it, does it? It does. I thought it did. 100% loam. So do you know something? If that farmer's going to sell it, oh, it's 38,000. We're going to buy it, but just not yet. We haven't got any harvesters for this kind of thing. So let the farmer have his yield, his thing. So that one, I would imagine, is also. That one's a strategic field. I think we're going to buy it, but it's just silly not to. Really, but I'm not sure I'm going to buy the data. I think we might have it more as... Oh, trouble is it drags your precision farming thing down if you don't. I suppose we could concrete it, and then I don't know if the data thing goes away or whatever. But yeah, so we've got that. Oh, it's such a shame, though. It's a beautiful field, isn't it, really? But it's tiny as well. I'm just thinking it's sort of in the centre. Oh, I don't know. We've already done that by pointing that there. So perhaps we should just, you know... cut it, maybe? You know, like carry on and just do it? Fantastic, right, so then. So we now the proud owners of this little field here, which is a very strategic little field. We can, yeah, I'm trying to think, it's not got, this is probably, of all of the fields that we've got, we've got that edge there where we stuck the mower. Which, oh, it's there. Actually, it's there. We could put a shed. I think that's more strategically in the middle than where I am now, and we can't really do that because it's in the way. So I think we'll do that another time. We look so lush, don't we, being as we've just like got that nearly 200,000 for the harvester, but yeah. No, this one. I'm glad there are no collisions on that, because I've got to be honest, I don't think it'd let us through really. It's a little bit tight. I'm a bit tempted to buy the Black Sheep Modding 25,000 skid steer, but again, we're going to soon be going right the way through the winter. We do need to, let's just take the other John Deere down to the bottom so it really is with that. I think we've automated most things now to the point that everything is as it should be. Yeah, I've literally got... again, another thing with an animation with the brake course on, similar to this, but it's got the drawbridge at the back. I'm not sure. I'm almost ready to abandon it, but there's a few things that I learnt whilst doing the model that actually I might stick on this one and just do away with a bit at the back, because it's like at the minute it's crashing and burning on Silver Lake. It keeps on falling through the ground and then coming out the sky and falling into the ground. I don't think that's a very good sign. It is hilarious, but it's not a good sign at all. Right, where is the other John Deere side? Did we? I don't think we did all of our fields. We're getting excited like we've like done everything, and I don't think we have. Let's have a look at our data. We will buy the data, and that should be a terribly tiny amount because of how small it is. Yeah, 225. Couldn't even lease the thing for that, could we really? So. Let's have a look at the... So 5 and 3, but 3 again is not 12. Yeah, all of the rest, they're okay. Let's grab you. And you are the one with the broad ties, really the one that we want to take down the bottom. So, but again, we do need his assistance. Although I suppose I could set the other John Deere, the biggie. Well, you can call the 192 horsepower big, but it's big enough for what we need to be doing, really. So I do quite like that. Yes, I didn't think that was a bad touch, really. So we've got our repair point down. It is true. I mean, again, it could be something that FSG may change, but I've got to be honest, you've got to like rip your... I have noticed, and I don't know that it's FSG's fault, that almost all doorways do that thing where they grab you, so that might be the game's fault that you can't really get away with. But the trouble is, it ruins it when you go through any sort of gateway, because you go on the way in and out. And it's a caravan. It was a caravan that I had, and it was a really cracking. The modder had worked for hours on doing that. I think we don't think it's that way, is it? No, it'll go the new way. It's true, it just saved an awful lot internalising the traffic through our own fields. Not that there's any traffic, I realise that, but it's an awful lot quicker. Right, so then, yeah, the canola field has, we've got all the straw off of it. It is true, I might convert a couple of these, I might not need this amount of grass. Or we do go BGA. Yeah, there's that, you know, like, what we could do that as well, so I'm not sure. Is that done that field already? Surely not. Or am I getting confused? Probably, I probably am getting confused, knowing me, right. So, I said about this, the clicking, how many times it takes to click. It would be very nice though to get out of August to go through to September. And I apologise because that would probably make this a little bit of a longer session really. So, but I just like to get out of this month. It's been such a long month. I am a little bit tempted to pull a bit of a trick because this is really quite hard getting in and out of this. Whereas there's a little bit of a bit where the hedge is really quite low, or we could raise the ground just here, where you could sort of get away with it. So do you know, with that in mind, we're going to be a little bit naughty, and we're just going to do that because it is a bit... Right, so we're going to have to do my trick again of raising the ground until it gets high enough that we can just then level from that point. We do want to do it slightly bigger. All my life, and then we need to soften a lot. Oh wow, some of it was taller than you think. Yeah, it's not perfect. It is a lot of work. I did it very well on one map one time. I'm probably in the way. I usually am. Yeah, very well. You sort of have to sort of come down in stages. It really is quite an art. One that I haven't quite mastered yet, but I did it very well on one map. And you have got to go bigger than you think to actually make this, and then gradually eat away at the edges, and then do it a little bit more. Yeah, it looks a bit odd with obviously the hedge sticking out, but it's sort of... Then of course you've got to do the replace the road, but really we need to come out in a different place. And the other thing is you need to really sort of stick the grass back down. Again, a lot of this is sort of disguising, but people know what you've done, obviously. We all know that. It's not... So this time we're just going to leave it as like a grass. Like it's a bit of a hummock, but you naturally come over. And the road, I don't think I can really do much about that. It was just literally, we're just having this as if it's a hummock is the way in. Because it really isn't going to hurt, is it? So we need now to make the road slightly different than it was before. And it looks to me like it's dirt. Forest roots. Gravel. What's it look like? It does look vaguely like... mud light. It does look like mud light. So let's pull the mud light around a little bit. A bit closer to our field, which we're willing to sacrifice for the realism of the fact that like the road has been rerouted. And then we'll like pull this one slightly at an angle, admittedly. It's a bit, I think some of that's more dark as well. Alright, so that's that. It is a bit, we know it goes up but slightly, but you can sort of legitimately go over this bit of a hummock, and it's a bit cheeky, but it's gonna, that poor harvester is seriously going to be thanking us for like that little bit of a thing. And obviously, it almost looks like there's a few little plants growing through the thing. If we didn't know what we know, it wouldn't be too terrible. Right, so then, with that in mind, let's leave them busy down there. We have not taken the John Deere down there yet, that we promised we would, so let's just do that right now. This is the fertilizer one, but we do want that to be remaining where it is, and we want to be grabbing... Where have I put the... the little John Deere, yeah, so they're actually doing that job. I'm being silly now. Let's jump into that. And I think... just trying to think if anything I've missed. We've got the thing off. We've got loads of space over here. The sugar's doing. It should be Oh, I know what I've not done. No, it's true. Yes, a mistake I have made. This doesn't know what sugar 1 is. That's the mistake I've made. I need to tell my BI Industries this won't have any sugar because it doesn't recognise that sugar as sugar. Oh, that's so... Yeah, so I need to actually go away and change my production that all of them accept this kind of sugar 1. Yeah, I do. It's true. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, so I need to go to the whiskey factory and actually tell it to accept sugar or sugar 1. Basically, that's why it's not working. I'm glad I've realised that. And also, I'm going to tweak this when I pop out as well. So we will stay in August because then otherwise we're going to lose a bit of like productivity with that. So it is one of those things. Yeah, so I'm going to say my words instead of like what we're going to do. I'm going to thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.